Hello, I'm Geeta Babu Singh, welcoming you all again to this session. In previous session, we discussed humming errors. In today's session, we review on network topology and categories of networks and comparative study of multiplexing techniques. Let's start with the definition of networks. As we know, a network is a set of devices, often referred as a node, by communication link. A node can be a computer or a printer or any other device capable of sending and or receiving data generated by other nodes on the network. Let's repeat. A network is a set of devices, often referred to as a node, connected by a communication link. A node can be a computer, printer, or any other device capable of sending and or receiving data generated by other nodes. So, as shown in this slide, we have the picture of uh, node links. Uh, uh, as shown in figure, then we have connected the nodes. Node are nothing but a computer or other device capable of sending or receiving data. Links are nothing but the transfer data from one node to another node. So therefore a link is a communication pathway that transfer data from one device to another. So in this slide, another picture we have a full frame, full so as shown in another figure where we have the client that is nothing but the group of computers and server which is nothing but a system, and then again ISP, then router, then again a group of computers. So it means that a network, as from this figure we come to know that network is nothing but a set of device connected by communication link, that is node. A node can be a computer, printer, or any other device capable of sending or receiving the data generated by the other nodes on the network. Let's study the types of connection, that is in which first one is point to point, multi and multiplying. In this slide we have a point to point block diagram, that is as shown in this slide. We have a station 1 that is connected to another station through link, that is nothing but a point to point connection provides a dedicated link between two devices. The entire capacity of the link reserved for transmission between those two devices. Example is when you can change television channel by infrared remote control, you are establishing a point to point connection between the remote control and the television control system. Let's repeat. In types of connection, we have first one is your point to point and second one is your multi point. In this slide, we have the block diagram of point to point connection, which is connected through one station to another station using a link. Therefore, the definition of point to point is a point to point connection provides a dedicated link between two devices. The entire capacity of the link is reserved for transmission between those two devices. And the example is television remote. Next is multi-point. A multi-point, also called multi-drop connection, is one in which more than two specific devices share a single link. So, in this slide, as shown in the block diagram figure of your um, multi-point connection, so we have one mainframe which is connected to the three different stations through a link. Therefore, by the definition, we know that multi-point connection is one in which more than two specific devices share a single link. In multi-point environment, the capacity of channel is shared either spatially or temporarily. If several devices can use the link simultaneously, it especially shared connection. If user must take turns, it time shared connections. Let's study the categories of topology. The term physical topology refers to the way in which network is laid out physically. Two or more devices connected to a link from a topology. So, as we all know, topology of a network is the geometric representation of the relationship of all the links and linking device, usually called nodes, to one another. There are four basic topology possibles. First one is mesh topology, star topology, bus topology, and ring topology. So, as in this slide, we have the block diagram figure of topology, that the topology is divided into mesh topology, star topology, bus topology, and ring topology. Let's see one by one. A fully connected mesh topology. Every device has a dedicated point-to-point link to every other device. The term dedicated means that the link carries traffic only between the two devices it connects. So, in this slide, we have the figure of block diagram of our mesh topology, in which we are connecting a 5 station through a link, through a link. That link is nothing but your point to point link to every other devices. Therefore, the advantages of mesh topology are the use of dedicated links generated generates that each connection can carry down data load, thus eliminating the traffic problem, and can occur when link must be shared by multiple devices. A mesh topology is robust. If one link becomes unusable, it does not incapacitate the entire system. There is advantage of privacy or security. When every message travels along a dedicated line, only the intended recipient see it. Physical boundaries between other users from gaining access to message. A point-to-point link make fault identification and fault isolation easy. Traffic can be routed to avoid links with respect to problem. This facility enables the network manager to discover the precise location of the fault and aids in finding its causes and a resolution. Causes and solutions. The disadvantage of mesh topology are the amount of cabling and the number of input output ports are required. First, because every a device can be connected to every other device, installing and reconnections are difficult. The sheer bulk of wiring can be generated, then the available space can be accommodated. The hardware required to connect each link, that is input output ports and cable, can be prohibitively expensive. For these reason, a mesh topology is usually implemented in limited fashion, for example, as a backbone connected the main computer of hybrid network that can include several other topics. Next is star topology. A star topology does not so as we know, a star topology, it in each in star topology, each device has a dedicated point-to-point link only to a central control, usually called the hub. The devices are not directly linked to one another. So in this slide, as shown in this block diagram figure, we have the hub which is connected to 4 different stations. So these stations are not connected to each other, they are connected directly to the hub. So therefore, a star topology does not allow direct traffic between the devices. The controller acts as an exchange. If one device wants to send data to other, it sends the data to controller, which then relay the data to the other connected device. The advantages of star topology are: a star topology is less expensive than a mesh topology. In star topology, each device needs only one link and one input output port to connect it to any number of others. If one link fails, one only that link is affected. All other links remain active. And the big disadvantage of star topology is the dependency of whole topology on one single point, that is the hub. If the hub goes down, whole system is dead. Next one is a bus topology. A bus topology is multi-point. One long cable acts as a backbone link to the to link all the devices in a network. So in this slide, as shown the block figure, we have one cable and through which to which we are connecting 3 different devices with the help of tap and drop line. Drop line. So therefore, nodes are connected to the bus cable by drop lines and taps. A drop line is connection running between the device and main cable. A tap is a connector that either splices into the main cable or punches the sheeting of the cable to create a contact with with the metallic core. The disadvantages and advantages of the bus topology are as follows. Let us see the advantages. Each of installation backbone cable can be laid along the most efficient path that then connected to the nodes by drop lines of various length. In this way, a bus uses less cabling than mesh or star topology. The disadvantages of bus topology are a fault or break in the bus cable stop all the transmission even between devices or on the same side of the problem. The damaged area reflect signals back to the direction of the origin, creating noise in both directions. Let's see the ring topology. Each device has a dedicated point-to-point connection with only the two devices on either side of it. A signal is passed along the ring in one direction from device to device until it reaches its destination. Each device in the ring incorporates a repeater. When a device receives a signal intended for another device, its repeater generates the bits and passes among them along. So a ring topology is nothing but, as shown in this slide, we have the figure in which we are connected all the stations each other using a cable as a ring, in which all these stations are nothing but the repeaters. Therefore, the ring topology is a device has a dedicated point-to-point connection with only the two devices on either side of it. A signal is passed along the ring in one direction from device to device until it reaches its destination. Each device in the ring incorporates a repeater. When a device receives a signal intended for another device, its repeater generates the bits and passes them along. A ring is relatively easy to install and reconfigure. Each device is linked to only its immediate neighbors. To add or delete a device requires changing only two connections. In a simple ring, a break in the ring can disable the entire network. The next one is hybrid topology. A network can be a hybrid. For example, we can have a main star topology with each branch connecting several stations in a bus topology. So in the slide, as we seen the connection of hybrid topology, we are considering a hub to which a one cable line, we are using three cable lines through which we are connecting the three different stations by using one single cable line. So as we told, a network can be a hybrid. Next is a multiplexing. Whenever the bandwidth of a medium linking to device is greater than the bandwidth needs of the device, the link can be shared. Therefore, the multiplexing is a set of techniques that allows the simultaneous transmission of multiple signals across a single data link. As data and telecommunication use increases, so does the traffic. So, as shown in this slide, we have the figure in which multiplexing in which we have number of inputs and n number of inputs line, and which has a one link and n channels, as shown in the arrow mark in the figure, is connected to demultiplexing, which has n output lines. As we study in the previous session, the multiplexing is divided into three different types. One is our frequency division multiplexing, second one is wavelength division multiplexing, third one is time division multiplexing. Let us study one by one. The FDM, that is frequency division multiplexing, is an analog multiplexing technique that combines analog signals. In this technique uses various frequencies to combine stream of data for sending from one communication medium as a single signal. For example, a traditional television transmitter which sends a number of channels through a single cable uses frequency division multiplexing. So, in this slide, I shown the block diagram in which the multiplexing having a 3 input lines, and the blue color indicates channel 1 and channel 2 and channel 3. So again the multiplexing which has the 3 output lines. So as we study in FDM process, we are sending a carrier 1, that is F1, carrier 2 F2 and carrier 3 F3, which are connected all that is as shown in this figure, that is summation plus sign, and which is received at the demultiplexing. So the from a demultiplexing we are filtering all the signals by filtered 1, filter 2 and filter 3, that is demodulator in which carrier F1 we have, in demodulator in which carrier F2 and carrier F3. Then again we are receiving the original signal. So next is wavelength division multiplexing, that is WDM, is an analog multiplexing technique to combine optical signals. Wavelength division multiplexing is an analog technique in which many data streams of different wavelength are transmitted in the light spectrum. If the wavelength increases, the frequency of the signal increases. So as shown in the example, optical fiber communication uses the WDM technique to merge different wavelength into a single light of the communication. So as shown in this figure, we have 3 different wavelengths, that is lambda 1, lambda 2 and lambda 3, which are adding lambda 1 lambda plus lambda 2 plus lambda 3 and is input to WDMP, then again the output at lambda 1, lambda 2 and lambda 3. Let's study the what is TDM, that is um, time division multiplexing is a digital multiplexing technique for combining several low rate channel into one high rate one. In TDM, the time frame is divided into slot. This technique is used to transmit signal over a single communication channel with allotting one slot for each message. For all these type of TDM, the main ones are synchronous and asynchronous TDM. So as shown in this figure, that is we have the um, block diagram of multiplexing and demultiplexing. The multiplexing consists of 4 input signal and the demultiplexing have 4 output signal, and the middle is nothing but the data flow, that is arrow mark shows the data flow. As we study in the previous session, the synchronous TDM, the input is connected to a frame. If there are n number of connection, then the frame is divided into n time slot. One slot is allocated for each input line. In this technique, the sample rate is common to all signals and hence same clock input is given. The MUX allocates the same slot to each device at all times. In synchronous TDM, the time slots are transmitted irrespective of whether the sender has data to send or not. In the above figure, the first frame is completely filled, but the last 2 frames, some slot are empty. Therefore, we can say that the capacity of the channel is not utilized efficiently. Asynchronous TDM. The number of slots M is asynchronous TDM frame is based on statistical system of number of input lines that are likely to transmit at any given time, rather than being preassigned. Each slot is available to any of the attached input devices that has data to send. The multiplexer scans the input lines, expects portion of data until the frame is filled. Then it sends the frame across the link. So as shown in this block diagram of asynchronous TDM. Thank you.